When it comes to playing Leo Sayer tracks, we are spoilt for choice, but you know what? We're spoiling you even more. Not just the music, we've got the man himself on the line. Leo, welcome to 101 FM.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Mike.
My pleasure. And I got to say, right now, this is a true story. And I've had the pleasure of interviewing many performers over the years. Every single person I've ever spoken to says, Leo Sayer, nicest guy in the business.
Oh, well, that's very sweet. That's very nice. Well, we try to be, you know.
Yeah, but, you know, a fellow Brit, what can you expect from that?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm just grateful that I've got such a long career. I mean, it's 50 years since Silverbird this year, which is quite exciting to recall. But you know, I'm coming up to 75, and I'm feeling as fit and good at able to do what I do. You know, as much as ever, and that's a really good feeling. Because, you know, there's so many of us that get to this ripe old age and and then find you can't do it any longer. And I'm glad to say I've still got the hair and I've still got the voice.
I wasn't going to mention the hair. I mean, I remember you talking about 50 years ago. I remember seeing you on Top of the Pops because obviously I'm from the UK with The Show Must Go On, and I thought, wow, there's a bloke on there dressed as a clown. What's all this about? And no, it was just
the Piero.
That was it. Yeah, amazing. And
that was like the first time I was really seen publicly, and I mean, it was an image that was on the cover of Silverbird. Yeah. And it was an image that I really got into because I just loved this character of the Piero. And it was a glamorous time, you know. The glam industry was very much part of, you know, pop, and from Peter Gabriel putting on strange costumes in Genesis. With his band Genesis, and from Mark Bolan putting paint on his face, and all of us kind of dressing up, Gary Glitter and people like that, you know.
David Bowie, of course.
David Bowie, of course, with Ziggy Stardust starting it all off, probably. And you know, we didn't have video, we didn't have a lot of the outlets in TV that we do have today. You know, in like MTV hadn't even started. So I think if you put on some unusual costume, you did get attention. Yeah. And I chose to do it, and my world changed from that moment. You know, Silverbird went to number 2 in the UK charts and was a huge hit all over the world. The Show Must Go On was covered by Three Dog Night in America and went to, you know, into the top 2 places in. I was number 2 in the charts in America, and so it sort of really drove me into the public eye in a very interesting way. And I kind of thoroughly enjoyed dressing up as the Piero and appearing on stage for 1 year. I vowed to drop it after that because I thought I'm going to get typecast, you know. Yeah. And so I moved on from there. And luckily the audience stayed with me, which was great. You know, when I took the makeup off, I was still able to draw a crowd, so that was great, you know. And
the joy of your audience, Leo, and, you know, we've all kind of grown up with you, we've all stayed with you, and you've kind of reinvented yourself, but having said that, your music is still the same. And when people come to see you in the shows, they want to hear they want to hear Thunder in My Heart, they want to hear How Much Love, they want to hear Moonlighting, they want to hear all of them.
Yeah, it's funny how the songs kind of become bigger than you. You know, you create these records. So I talk about this with David Courtney, who was my co-produced with Adam Faith, those early records. And, you know, we're always amazed at how these records have stood the test of time. I mean, I've just been over in America, and the airplay for some of these songs is still as strong as ever, which is an incredible thing, you know.
That is amazing. I mean, if anybody had said to you 50 years ago, you've just come out of Top of the Pop studio, and you went, whew, I need to take my makeup off now. If anybody had said to you then, by the way, Leo, you'll be living in Australia, you're going to be doing this in 2023, and your audiences, they're still going to pack the place out, would you have actually believed that?
I don't think any of us could have imagined that, because we were trying to make the music to echo the times, you know, as a, what do you call it, the zeitgeist of the times, you know. I mean, all we were doing was echoing that age that we were in and writing about it and writing about our adventures, composing songs that kind of described us. and sometimes, you know, finding other great songs to sing, as I've done many times, and living in that moment. And I think that's what's kept us young in a lot of ways,
Sure.
because we haven't had time to get nostalgic, you know, so we're still doing it. I mean, I'm still creating songs, still writing songs, and still feeling that there's, you know, there's things to write about in this time, crazy time that we're in, you know, with everybody lying and politics and going mad and
oh, mate, don't get me
everywhere in
started
the
on
media.
that.
No, but I mean that it's suddenly, as an artist and with a voice, you feel you've got a job to do, you know, to cut through the crap, as it were, and make a point. So you've got a responsibility and a job to do. So I think looking back, you know, we were just trying to seize the moment. That's all we were trying to do, and echo that time. And the incredible thing is that a lot of the songs, not all of them, but a lot of the songs have really stood the test of time.
Oh, for sure.
You know, some of them will stay stuck in that period because, you know, I'm amazed that songs like One Man Band, for instance, are still popular because I'm singing. You know, one of the lines is, you know, a half a crown, an old English terminology, and then moonlighting with all of its kind of Englishness. And it's amazing. I've just been in America, and people were shouting for that song.
Isn't
and
that
I
incredible?
thought, and that was one that was never released as a single over there because they weren't expected to understand about Gretna Green and the M6 motorway.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how ideas travel. I suppose you could call it's similar in when Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel, for instance, talk about particular places or particular adventures or particular cars in America, and yet the rest of the world has embraced it. I mean, almost everybody knows what a Rocket 88 is and a Bel Air, you know. So sometimes things do travel across the continents.
Oh, for sure.
That aren't predictably supposed to travel. You know, you wonder. I mean, at the time, we wondered if anybody would understand my very British lyrics, and I think that you know, pushed my manager Adam Faith at the time to basically put me into a situation where I was recording in America with American producers and you know, angling my career more towards an American audience. And it kind of worked because Endless Flight, of course, with You Make Me Feel Like Dancing and When I Need You and How Much Love on that and many others, you know, appealed to an American audience and opened that up for me.
But here in Australia as well, Leo, you know, I mean, you're as big here as you were over there.
The music travelled all over the world, and that's, I think, the thing that we've got to be really grateful for is the way the music travelled.
And, you know, we talk about Australia. You are like me. You're an Australian citizen now. Obviously love it over here. Oh, and congratulations on your recent wedding. Oh,
thank you very much. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. That was a nice thing to do. I think it's just because Donna and I have been together a long time, of course, as everybody knows. 39 years we've been together before getting married. But, I mean, just get to a time in your life when you think, well, we're not going anywhere. This is it, you know. We're at a happy place. We're comfortable, feel secure. We own our house and things like that, you know. And you go, hang on, let's cement
do
this,
this.
you know.
You see, I waited
for... It's been a nice feeling.
It was 14 years for me and Mrs. B, and I just ran out of excuses to say no. I know.
No, well, I think I'm the same. I share that. Yeah. And it's something that we both wanted. And something now I'm eternally happy with. I'm loving wearing my wedding ring and enjoying my new life, as it were. You know, again, you reinvent yourself, you know?
It's true, isn't it? And it does, you know, people say after 40, with us, with it being 14 years, oh, you know, did it feel different? Well, yes, actually. Yes, it did, in a good way.
No, it does feel good. It does feel good. And I don't know why we never got round to it, but I suppose we've been busy.
Yeah, well,
and, you know, and lives get topsy-turvy. I mean, in this career of the music industry, there's so much that happens to you that is sometimes not good, that you kind of you lean towards wanting to do this thing only when it's in a good time, you know what I mean? So we wait for those opportunities, and when they come along, we got to grasp them. Sometimes we don't have a chance to grasp them, but this time we did, you know.
You know, and people often say, and I said this earlier on, you know, how positive people are towards you. The thing about you is not only has your music stood the test of times, you never ever read, there was never anything in the news of the world about Leo Sayer staggering out of a nightclub at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, it never happened.
Could have been.
Wow.
No, there certainly could have been. I've been blessed, maybe, that those. Well, look, I've never been a completely a good guy, but you know, maybe those moments haven't needed to be highlighted.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And so that's it. I don't know. I have lived a very interesting life, and I've tried everything, but I haven't. You know, it's never taken away from the music and the basic mission that you're doing. And I think morally, you know, you tend to stick to what makes people feel good rather than what makes yourself feel good. And that's the difference. So we can be we can be imbibing in everything and spoiling ourselves. But at the end of the day, we're in the business of communication. We're in the business of sharing. We're in the responsibility of making people's lives feel good. So we concentrate on that and we lean towards that. And I think that if when I finally pop off the planet, I've got a good reputation for trying to do my best in all situations, that's all you can hope for.
I tell you what, Leo, I wish that you had talked to some of these people at things like Australia's Got Talent and Idol and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
well, you know what?
Early on I think I did, you know, and there were a few, I mentored a few people, I mean, at a distance mostly. I mean, there was a guy in Australia who came up through the ranks, and you know, Chris Murphy, who used to manage INXS, got me involved because he was a judge for a while on the first, you know, and he said, why don't you give them some tips from where you are? And I was in England at the time. I hadn't even moved here yet. It was something like 2003 or 4. I moved here in 2005, and it was kind of interesting, but at the same time, what can you tell people? They almost have to find out themselves.
True. Yeah.
I don't think that some of the over mentoring has destroyed what programs like The Voice and Australian Idol, American Idol, all of those kind of all those shows. I think they are over mentored, especially by the management of the TV companies or the management that puts it together. So you know, the Simon Cowells of this world are responsible for bringing in artists, and we see them disappear very quickly because they're not given the chance to really learn their craft. They're thrust into the public eye too quickly.
Well, there you are.
There's so many victims from that. I mean, it's you know, the fame game. You have to learn it by the hard yards. I mean, there was one point where they wanted me to take over Australian Idol here. And become one of the mentors and judges. And I said to them, I'll do it if I can take them all down to a club, you know, a music club in Sydney, probably the Annandale as it was at the time, you know, and let's work it out there with a live band. They said, no, we can't do that. So that was enough reason for me to say, no, I don't think I want to get involved in this. What they're doing is they're setting up a very plastic, you know, unreal situation on TV. And I don't think the artists really learn from it. That's, you know, I'm criticising, okay, but I don't think they learn a thing from it, you know.
And it's very true.
I mean, television is a very unreal medium anyway.
And it's very fickle as well.
Follow what you do at first.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very fickle, the whole thing. And we often say to people that come second, third and fourth on The Voice, the only phrase they need to learn is, would you like fries with that? Because that's about it, really.
Sadly, it is true. But I suppose it's indicative of the modern age, because now we have MTV. Well, MTV is long gone, but now we have YouTube videos. And, you know, you see an artist kind of on a video, you know, really... The whole thing's very shiny and kind of overproduced and everything. And it's very easy for artists coming into it, or wannabe artists, young kids coming into it, and look at that and think, well, boy, I can be like that tomorrow.
I can do that. Yeah.
But you can't. You've got to run the hard yards of doing the gigs, learning how to work with musicians, learning how to work with managers and producers. You've got to do all that stuff first. And it takes thousands of gigs before you're ready.
And that's why you've been doing it for 50 years. Leo, you've got a big show coming out with Joe Camilleri. How exciting. That's what
my birthday brother.
Yeah, what a combo that is. So QPAC on the 17th of May in Brisbane, Twin Towns on the 20th of May. I mean, I can't imagine how you're going to get all of your musicians and all of Joe's musicians and the Black Sorrows on one stage.
Well, we are. That's the aim to do. I mean, I think Joe's doing the first set, I'm doing the second set. We're doing some duets together. Yeah. And then at the end, we're going to bring both bands on.
Wow.
And it'll be a great old free-for-all. But, it's a party, so why not? We thought, it would be very easy to do it, separately, and still we're linked together somehow, in duets or something. But no, we thought, we've got to all be up there together, and we've got to create a really good party atmosphere. And you know what we will be singing? We'll be singing, as well as our own hits, we'll be singing the music that brought us here. We'll be singing, paying tribute to all the artists that we absolutely love, and their music as well. So it's a shared thing,
I can't wait. I mean, I'm going to organise so we can come and see you at QPAC, and
it'll be great.
I might stick my head round the door when you're all done and say hello. But
definitely, please do, Mike.
It's going to be epic, and there's tickets available right now. So that's QPAC on the 17th of May. 20th of May, Twin Towns. Leo, I have to say, and this is, people know this from listening to this show, and I've said I have a top 10 list of people that I want to chat to on this show. My number one, I'm talking to you now, and I'm so grateful. So thank you for giving up the time.
Thank you. And hey, the atmosphere of this show is going to be great, I've got to tell you, because Joe and I are really dear friends. We like the same music. We talk all the time, so you're just going to see two guys who happen to have this magical gift of sharing exactly the same day of their birth, celebrating that. Yeah, 150 years of life experience, I guess you might call it.
Well, there you go. And if that doesn't make people want to buy a ticket, nothing will. Leo, it's been a joy. Thank you so much. And looking forward to that show on the 17th of May.
Thank you, Mike.
So there you are, Leo Sayer with us on 101 FM. And also a huge thank you to Jason Daisy for organising that for me. Because I said to Jason, I want to chat to Leo. And he said, no, I want to chat to him. I said, well, you've chatted to him before, so it's my turn now. And that's one advantage of being president. You thought, I better let Mike do that. What a charming guy.
Standing here alone with you.